Today marks the launch of a brand new filter system from Freewell, which is arguably the most unique filter system that we've seen for quite a while. Currently at the moment we have two ways of putting filters onto the front of lenses. The first is the traditional screw-on front filter, and then the second is a separate filter holder that lets you put square or rectangular drop-in filters. However, this new filter from Freewell is slightly different because it's magnetic. First off, the box is not the easiest thing to open. And then inside the box we have said little filter holder and said little filter. Now to fit it to your camera, you simply screw it onto the front element, and I know what you're thinking, hang on Dave, that's a screw-on front filter. It is, except you can just take the ND filter off, put it back on when you feel like. The setup that Freewell have gone for is actually a two-step system. So you have a normal screw-on UV filter, but rather than a traditional filter where it has another screw thread on the inside for you to add extra filters on top of it, instead it's actually flat and the back of the filters are magnetic, so they just connect on and then remove off nice and easily. Now granted, when you normally start stacking filters on top of each other, you run the risk of getting additional vignetting, particularly with ultra wide angle lenses. Now I've not been able to test this on anything wider than a 28mm lens because of the size of the filters that I've got. However, the UV filter and the ND filters are extremely thin profile, and that, to be fair, is no thicker than a single traditional filter. So I don't imagine, even with ultra wide angle lenses, you are going to see any vignetting at all. Incidentally, these are so slim as well that you can still get the lens hood on and off over the top of them as well, so that's not going to cause you a problem either. I did like a little touch from Freewell that they've actually gone ahead and personalised these ND filters for me. So, you know, if I lose it and somebody finds it and tries selling it, I can track it down easy enough. Although, unfortunately, I did check this was a one-off from them. You don't all get your names on. In terms of build quality, the filters do feel really strong, to be fair. It does feel like pretty solid glass. It doesn't play around inside the filter holder. It's all rock solid. The UV filter doesn't seem as tough a glass as the front filter, but still seems okay enough, I suppose. Freewell clearly have confidence in their build quality as well, because they offer these with a lifetime warranty against any manufacturer flaws. Doesn't mean you can go and smash the hell out of them for a laugh and get them replaced for free, but if there's a fault with them that's not your fault, Freewell will cover you for it. And with the idea that these filters can just permanently live on your lenses, your standard lens cap will fit to the front of both the ND filter or the UV filter, so you never need to take them off. But Freewell also include these nifty little metal lens caps that can go in place of your traditional lens cap, and they magnetize on as well. So you've got a choice, really. Now, I don't know what other filters are going to be available in this range, because at the time of recording, they've not officially been released. I know they've obviously got a range of different ND filters because they've sent them to me, but I don't know whether they're going to include things like polarizers or grad filters or light pollution filters, but I can see the potential in different types being available. Now, in terms of image quality, to be fair, these filters seem to be pretty bloody top-notch as well. Even when shooting straight into the sun, there's no noticeable increase in flaring. It seems to hold up really well. And in terms of sharpness, I tested just the UV filter on its own and both strength ND filters against no filter at all. And even the ND 1000 filter looks just as sharp as the original reference photo. The only thing I did note is that the ND filters add a little bit of color shift to your images. They make things just ever so slightly warmer. It's not an extreme shift, it's only a very marginal shift. If you're shooting stills in RAW, it makes absolutely no difference. And even if you're shooting in video, it's not going to make that much of a difference anyway, especially if you use a white balance card. So overall, it's a very interesting concept, the idea that you just leave a UV filter on all the time, and then you can just very quickly add and remove ND filters as you so desire. And it's not like these two are specifically paired to each other. Any ND filter will stick onto any UV filter provided it's the right diameter. That, however, is my only concern. For example, if all my lenses were 67mm filters, then I just have a UV filter on each one, and I can just drop and swap ND filters to my heart's content. But I don't. I have some lenses that are 67mm, but I have some that are 58, I have some that are 72, and I have one that's 77. And in that instance, it's not like you can go, well, I'll just have a 77mm ND filter and I'll just step it down accordingly, because you can't put a step down ring on the UV filter. You'd have to have the step ring and then the UV filter, and then that whole idea of leaving the UV filter on permanently kind of goes out the window. But maybe if you're somebody who's only got one or two lenses that happen to be the same filter thread size, or you only put your filters on one specific lens, then this setup is quite intriguing and a lot more user-friendly than constantly unscrewing and screwing on filters as you go. So I'm going to leave a link in the description down below to these filters for you to go and check out if you so desire. But what do you make of them? Is this something that you would be interested in, or do you think it's a bit of a gimmick that you wouldn't really get the use out of? Leave your thoughts and comments in the box down below. Thank you so much for stopping by, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.